Hey everyone, hope you're having a blessed day. Just thought I'd show you guys something. I just moved the two blue Acaras into the display tank. I might show you guys that once they color back up again. But this is a really easy idea. If you're having trouble with your water quality kind of spiking on you, uh, this is a golden pothos, and I have trimmed it into three separate stalks. The left and the right one are the newer ones. This was my very first experimental one, and I'm not sure, but it seems like the camera is picking up. First thing I want to show you guys is the roots. Like, goodness, that's going crazy. The other thing I want to see if I can get is, do you see how it grew over and it grew a little stub to support itself on this other aquarium, and it is now going absolutely nuts in the next aquarium over. So golden pothos. It'll help pull out all the, trying to remember, I always get it confused, either nitrates, nitrites, can help with ammonia too, if I remember correctly. But yeah, just live plants really help keep your water balance. But I just, as I got to take the saran wrap off because I lost one of my Acaras doing jumping out, I didn't realize they were jumpers. So I had the saran wrap on top, just a cheap lid. So again, just that thing is going absolutely bonkers. And I still can't get over how it propped itself up. Like, it legitimately did that, seems like intentionally. So, golden pothos. Cheap, easy. Hope it helps. Hey everyone, just continuing to work on the fish room and happen to notice that our mama plant here is actually ready to give us a couple of more stalks. I realized that I kind of showed the final product and gave no tips on how to make it work, and I have had some failures. So I just want to give a shout out to Keeping Fish Simple on YouTube, is who I stole this idea from. That's who I first saw do it. So the key to this whole thing is you need three sprouts on the stalk. So got one here, and one here. And let's see, I believe it was these guys over here, kind of the same way. So the key is you snip off the third stalk. So you'd want to cut this guy right here, just as close to the base as possible, because that is where your underwater root will start to form from. So you don't want to cut it any further down, really too much, just right below that third little stem part coming out. Just kind of notch it off, make sure it's underwater. May take a little while for the plant to adjust, especially if it's been in dirt, but the little cheat that I use is, as soon as I got the plant, started watering it with, we'll call it dirty aquarium water, just a couple of cups out of a water change. And as soon as it started growing on its own real good, we started clipping. And that's what you saw in the previous video. So if you have any questions, let me know. Hey everyone, just working on the tank today, and I thought I might be helpful and maybe make a video about filters, as I'm making some filter changes in this particular tank, mainly because that one wouldn't stay on. But if I had to rate like the top three versions of filters you'd use, the ones you're looking at right here would probably be my favorite. You can get a pack of 4 of these guys off Amazon for like $12 or something, and I think these are they're either the 30 or the 40 gallon variety. I generally run 4 in my 55 because I'm kind of over filter, because I tend to overstock my tanks. And there's my actually the S tier filter would be your live plants. This just happened to catch my attention, another reason why I wanted to make the video. But anyways, so these dual filters are super cheap, super awesome. I have yet to have one fail. I tend to not mess with them as far as cleaning them out, because that, in my opinion, will kill a lot of your beneficial bacteria. So Maybe once a month I'll pull them out, kind of squeeze them out in some dirty water as I'm doing a change, and that's about it really. The thing that kind of takes the cake for these guys is they're super quiet. Even though they're putting out a lot of bubbles to keep that agitation going, they're fairly quiet. So second best would be these guys over here. The only thing that causes them to drop out of the top spot is the noise. If you like the sound of your aquarium and the bubbling for white noise, stuff like that, then definitely go with these, as you will get that nice kind of percolating sound, I guess you could say, with your aquarium. But if that bothers you, or whatever the case may be, then again, definitely go with these guys. Pretty much silent. And then the last one would be your old hang on the backs. I have two 20-gallon tank hang on the backs for this tank, again, just because it used to be super overcrowded. Now that it's less populated, I may actually turn those off. On my 20 gallons, I do not use them. I noticed that it creates such a current that it doesn't seem like the fish ever get a real chance to rest. So was constantly dealing with ick and other things. As soon as I stopped using the hang on the back as a primary filter, I really have not had any major die-offs or anything like that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this Java moss swirl around. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Hey everyone, just Josh here, making a quick video about when I guess you could say multi-tank syndrome goes wrong. And just a little bit of a talk about different tank sizes. This poor fish room, due to work and life and stuff, has been neglected for about 2 weeks now. And I want to show you the difference in how that affects tanks, even if they're in the same room. So first thing I want to talk about is like why that 10-gallon is not being used. If you have a 10-gallon tank, even with live plants, I would say you can still expect a water change every week. Most of the tanks, let's see, yeah, all the tanks that I have in here that are up and running are 20s. I have a cycle that I use where I try to do changes on the different tanks every other week, but the more water you have, generally the more time you can go before you have a real big problem. So let me just show you some things that I'm going to be dealing with today after, I'd say, I think two weeks of neglect. So each of these 3 tanks need I'm going to do 50% on them. So I need to pull 10 gallons out and replace it. So that's 2 buckets a piece. So that's 6 5-gallon buckets I need to drag in here and put back in there. Same with these 2 over here. I had a little bit of a die-off in the top tank. I lost, I think, 3 catfish and 3 danios today. So I need to pull probably at least a quarter, if not a half, on those 2 tanks. So again, 2 more buckets apiece. And then, like, check out the water levels. I usually top them all off the same way. But look at this tank with the baby guppies. See how low that water is? I'm actually thinking about maybe putting a saran wrap cover on it and see if it's just evaporation. And then this guy over here, we lost a couple of danios, so I'm going to do a 50% on there too. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 buckets that I'll be dragging from the bathroom into here. I have an auto change system, but I've had some incidents with chlorine deaths, so I'll use it to pull the water out. But I still do the old-fashioned fill up the bucket, treat it, and then bring it in here and fill it up kind of situation. So actually beats going to the gym. It's a pretty good workout. I've seen actually pretty amazing results since becoming a fish keeper, so I'll just throw that out there too. So the 55 that I have can go the longest without a change, especially with the amount of fish in there. So if you're thinking about getting an aquarium, me personally, I would start with a 20. The 10s can give you the impression that this hobby is way harder than it is. It's just the less water you have, the quicker it can turn on you. So just keep that in mind. Any questions, let me know. Good evening, everybody. One nice thing about the fish keeping hobby is you never really know what your night is going to entail. So, much like this giant mound of moss, at that same time, I purchased just one little chunk of Java fern, and it's growing in there with mama and daddy catfish. So I was about to do some water changes, had the water all resting and ready to go. And as I went to put it in that tank, I noticed all of these floating at the top of the tank. So I'm like, why not go ahead and grab these babies out and attach them to something and put them in the other guppy tank with the albino cats that doesn't really have that many live plants in it. And just to show you how crazy life is, this particular chunk actually came out of the 55. It has I took a small piece of the Java fern out of the tank and glued it to a fake log, and it is now letting off babies too. So got some good old super glue. Had a porous, I guess is the word, rock. So attaching some to it. And I have some more rocks that a buddy brought me. I'm going to see if I can get... There's a poor plant in here. See that leafy guy back there? I've been growing him from a bulb too, and as you can tell, this moss is just pretty much making life miserable for that guy. So I'm probably going to pull him out tonight too and try to find him a new home. So if I think about it, I'll record that if you guys are interested. Talk to you later.